I'll be honest with you, I don't know where I am.
You're an autopilot.
This is instinct, autopilot.
Welcome to Road to Undisputed. Today what we're going to be doing is going through your fight June 1st you had with Ruiz Jr.
Anthony Joshua, fight number 23 for the 29er setting for AJ's US launch pad. He's going for it.
There's been a lot of mystery surrounding this fight as a whole. So I want to ask you how you felt at certain moments and see if you can kind of almost relive it.
Yeah, no problem.
But before we get on to this, obviously you went to America.
Yeah.
You were in Miami first and then New York.
Correct, yeah.
How were things in the build-up to the fight?
In the build-up, things are as they should have been. Training's like a lifestyle for me. So I never have an issue with preparation. If you put me and Ruiz in a machine, you know, 9 times out of 10 I should beat him. Yeah. And that was just his night. Yeah. He got the win, and we get to do it again at the end of the year.
I've probably watched this fight like 10 times already. Yes. And I don't watch fights often when I've seen the fight already. I kind of give it some time to marinate and I'll go back to it.
What's interesting with you saying that is me beating Ruiz, you wouldn't have watched that fight again. So with this fight here, I feel like where I've been fighting for so many years, when I come into the boxing arena, it was like I was steamrolling through. So it was just, Josh was gonna fight, boom, knock him out. Yeah. So from walking into a gym to 3 years later competing at the Olympics, from turning professional to 3 years later becoming world champion, it seemed like this was already written in the stars. Yeah. But I think behind the scenes, it's like the efforts and the education and the mind training that it takes to develop these skills or capabilities to be in that position are tiring.
When it's all said and done, the fans, most of them, only see a few clips of you training and then fight night.
Correct.
They don't see the hard graft, hard sparring. They don't see all of the background stories. So to them, it's almost, or to a lot of people, it's almost like, oh yeah, AJ's fighting tonight, AJ's gonna win. But they forget there's someone there who's trained for you as well.
Yeah, who's waiting for their moment as well. And when it looks easy, they'll never really truly respect what it is that you're trying to achieve. Yeah. And even myself, when it's going pretty well, it is what it is.
Let's have it right. There's no easy fights when you're a unified heavyweight champion. There are fights that are probably easier than others, but you still have to train hard to make it look so easy.
My purpose for that fight was, am I fighting Wilder next? The purpose for that fight was, what is he doing next? It wasn't solely on winning that fight. Do you know what I mean? So this is quite an interesting situation we can talk about now, looking back on the result.
So let's go for it.
From the most famous venue in the world for sports and entertainment, the Mecca of boxing.
Usually when the ring announcer's announcing you, you don't look quite like that, which was a little bit just within yourself. Do you remember how you felt?
No pressure. There's no gain. There's no gain from me. I'm in America. I'm not being told to go there. It's not a mandatory. We've just gone there because we wanted to do big things in boxing. And the good thing is, even though any of my fights you come to, and what I've learned, even though I lost that fight, it's still a massive defining moment in my career.
Massive.
Every fight that I think you come to of mine, you'll always leave with something to cherish. But this fight, in terms of what it meant, there was no real gain in it. So beating Ruiz, I could be sitting here now and it wouldn't have meant as much to me as what it's going to mean to me to train for the rematch.
Were you aware of looking like that?
No.
It's mad.
Just felt so relaxed. Like, I know what I'm capable of doing.
Yeah. I was watching it and I was thinking he is either super relaxed or it's just like, or it could be one of those flat performances. But then round 1 came and everything looked fine.
Yeah, that's what I mean, because I know what I'm capable of doing. But in the terms of what the 1% are, they mean so much when you're at championship level boxing. Everything it meant to Ruiz winning, is everything it didn't mean to me beating him.
Yeah. So he's coming in at 110%. This is his. He's just been thrown a lifeline.
It's everything.
And he has everything to gain, absolutely nothing to lose. You have, in truth, not much to gain and everything to lose. So it's hard. And when it's all said and done, you've been at the pinnacle of the sport for years, like winning the Olympics, going straight into like superstardom. So
now let's get it on. We're about to fight. The bell's gonna go, and it's like, all right, cool. Let me go in there and do what I know I can do best.
So at this point, we know Ruiz is a counter puncher, but he's also a combination puncher.
He is, yeah.
At that point, I'm taking it, you're obviously like downloading some data.
Yeah.
What are you thinking from that first 30 seconds of the fight?
He can't keep up with me with my feet.
When you're throwing shots, he's obviously looking to punch with.
Correct.
Which makes it a bit harder, but at this point in the fight, after this little combination here, that doesn't land obviously, but it was whiskers from both of you. Did you think, okay, I have to be pretty careful with what I throw because he wants to return immediately?
I have to set my shots up in a way that whatever I throw out, I know if something comes back, I'm ready to defend. Then it humbles the fighter who's trying to humble
you.
Yeah, exactly.
But having said that, you did still vary the jab upstairs and downstairs pretty well. And it seemed a little bit like business as usual.
Yeah, correct.
In a way, it was a very interesting first round, but still not much has happened yet. You're kind of understanding what he wants to do. He's trying to outthink you as well. Cool. So round number 2, he comes out with probably, I'm not sure if he comes out with more velocity, but he definitely starts letting his power shots go early. I think there was a double left hook he tried to throw. His corner's probably saying, you know, like try and apply some pressure or something like that.
Yeah. In the second round, I heard the crowd booing.
Did
you remember that?
I don't remember that.
Someone told me there was a fight going on in the arena, that's why. You know, debut in New York, the crowd's booing.
Okay, so, and going back to the corner after the second round, that's in your head, you're thinking?
Correct. Okay. And especially the week before, Wilder knocked out Brazil in the first round. Yeah. I'm fighting 2 weeks after, so let's go and handle business. Do you know what I mean? If I don't want to let the people down, I could cruise this fight.
Yeah.
6 rounds, the beef weren't cooked yet. The beef was still being seasoned.
This round is like one of the most dramatic rounds in the history of boxing. So we have a beautiful right uppercut, left hook. And at that point, it seemed like, okay, you're such a good killer that immediately after he gets up and he's counted to 8, you go after him, you land a good right hand, snaps his head back. And it looks like the writing's on the wall. We've seen this however many times.
I agree.
It looks like it's there.
Yeah.
And then it almost seems like on autopilot, he whips out a left hook, roll left hook.
Correct. And the first left hook catches me on the chin, which was fine. Then as he's gone under again, it's the one that caught me behind the head. And that's when all systems kind of shut off. Yeah. And at the same time, it's boxing, so either you're going to know how to ride that punch or you're going to suffer the consequences. And from that shot onwards, it was really difficult for me to get back in the fight.
Do you remember how you felt? Because those big shots, definitely, like your head kind of scrambles, your brain's kind of like still trying to recalibrate. Yeah. Do you remember how it felt?
The fight that I need to fight to beat Ruiz, I should be switched on 100%. And with the shot that I had taken, where it had switched off part of my system, I knew I was fighting at 80%. And I knew that it was just going to be a bit of an uphill struggle. So mentally, I just know that I had to kind of keep myself in the fight and not try and overexert myself. I've been here before with better fighters where it's been a bit of a slugfest. But I always remember after that fight I had with Klitschko, I said I never want to be in a slugfest again because I know how much better I can be. And I found myself in this situation again. And now it's just how do I now try and climb out of this battle again, which is a battle that I shouldn't be in against someone like Ruiz, in my opinion. Yeah.
He tries to put some pressure on.
That left hook again.
Yeah. But you did a good job here of holding and just trying to buy yourself some time, but then the trading happens. Mm-hmm. Did you know at this point that you were hurt? Because you know sometimes you get stung
just the body.
Yeah, and
the body
it's
ain't
not
functioning.
responding as you know it should.
And that's why when all your blood, is pumped around your body, your heart rate's high, the event's really coming in, honing in on you. Yeah. All the pressure starts coming together and you start really realizing and feeling every aspect of your training. I walk in the door, me and your trainers, you're gonna say, he's gonna do well. Yeah. Big, strong, athletic. Now, that's training for the good times because we're looking at all the positives. Now we have to look at every aspect, okay, and at this stage I could feel because I wasn't now the big guy, strong, that's gonna come through and knock everyone out. I was the guy on the back foot. Now I start thinking, damn, I wish I didn't do this. Yeah. Man, I wish I would have done that and I would have felt better in this situation.
We get to the very end of the third round.
Yeah.
Fatigue obviously sets in, all of this stuff. We go down again, but it's the end of the round.
Yeah.
So we get to go back to your corner and regroup.
Yeah.
At this point, it's a fight.
Yeah,
and we are now like in deep waters.
Yeah.
At that moment, is there still a part of you obviously that knows, all right, I've been here before.
Yeah, 100%.
I just have to make almost a little bit of nothing happen for a little bit and almost diffuse until I feel strong again. So he comes out after you in the fourth round.
If I would have come out with the same tenacity that I have here, you see what I'm saying? In the first round, I'm now 3 or 4 steps behind, trying to catch up. But my engine's fired. Now, if I would have been at the start line, but with the same engine fired, as soon as the bell goes, I would have been 3 or 4 steps ahead. But I didn't have that same one. Looking at this guy,
like, you were so relaxed.
I don't want to be in the ring with Ruiz. They're talking about Wilder and Fury. This is Road to Undisputed, not Road to Ruiz. Do you know what I mean? But now I'm on my job to get this 2-time heavyweight championship of the world. I need to get these titles back.
So in a way, you did in the next round, or even the next 2 rounds, I think it was, you did exactly for me what you should do in terms of just keeping him far enough away, but you still haven't recovered fully. Did it get to a point where you felt as if, I'm not sure if I'll ever get back to...
Yeah, but it's cool. I stay in there. I'll be honest with you, I don't know where I am.
You're an autopilot.
This is instinct, autopilot. But it's cool.
At that point, do you have that thing where it's just like, all right, we just need to find a way out and I'm going to find it some way in terms of I'm going to beat him somehow? Or are you aware that this is going to be like, I'm going to need some kind of miracle because
I don't know where I am. I don't know where I am, but all I know is that I'm in a fight and I've been here before. And every time he's knocked me down, I can get up. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't a problem where I was like flat on my back, where he's hit me with a shot that I just couldn't recover from. So I'm like, all right, just stay in there, keep fighting. This is my fight, stay in there. But my body was like, I was at 40%. Do you know what I mean? I'm not even in a position where I can be like, I'm going to take him out now. It was just a matter of fact to just stay in the fight, keep trading, stay in the fight.
Made sense. And you were still landing some good shots.
But that's what baffles me after the third round. Like that was, if Ruiz in the same position I was, how I felt in the third round, he wouldn't have made it to the 5th. It took him 7 rounds. That's what baffles me because I went myself.
Well, I think you still had a very good poker face because from where I was looking at it, it looked as if you were doing that thing that you did against Klitschko, for example, where you took a little bit, you just stayed until you feel like, okay, like I've got enough in me to go.
Yeah.
And that's what it looked like. It looked like maybe you were just
Klitschko's fight was a different meaning and feeling to what. I was already where I should have been to fight Klitschko. I was already where I needed to be mentally to fight Klitschko. I've gained more attention and more meaning from losing than I would have by winning to this guy.
And nobody would have thought that Ruiz Jr. would have played such a big part in the AJ story.
Correct.
And now we've got a massive fight on our hands.
A massive fight on our hands.
So you see certain mistakes that you made, but you're still replying with what you should reply with. You know, you're trying to counter his jab with your right hand. And then you land a right hand, go after him. So these rounds for me were pretty even though you were operating at
50%.
50%.
We're still rolling. We're still
So
in
yeah,
there.
I looked at round, I think it was round 5, and I thought, okay, like it looks like
Boy.
getting his faculties back.
Watch the next time I hit him with a left hook in the next fight.
Good jab.
See?
So it became a bit
See what
of
I'm saying with
a
that
jabbing war.
Yeah, counter with that right.
But it seems to be two boxers with no problems.
Yeah.
That's what it looks
seems to
like.
be.
It looks like it.
Yeah.
You said, why do I feel like this?
Correct.
Now, I didn't see that because
Yeah.
I'm
You're
there.
in the arena.
I'm in the arena.
Yeah.
Have you felt like that before?
No. I just think where I was hit on the side of the head, where I weren't starting at the races already, I just thinking, nah, man. And it was just too much of an uphill struggle at the time.
We now go into round 7. Could you feel the atmosphere in the stadium at this point, or are you just kind of in your head at the moment?
Pilot, yeah.
You landed a good left hand, but he landed one simultaneously and lands a flurry.
The right hand.
But then you come back and you land again, and then he lands. But obviously, because you've taken the shots in the top of your head, you're still fighting like AJ, but you can't take the shots that you usually would because early doors. It's like
early doors,
top of the head shots. Like for anyone that's boxed knows that they
rattle the body.
They're
They
horrible.
rattle the body, yeah.
See, and when you're in the corner and the ref's talking to you, and you've kind of got a smile on your face.
So like my gum shield was out on the floor.
Yeah.
Okay? So I've walked back to the corner and he's counting, and I think he's still in the count. So he's like, walk forward. So I've walked 2 steps forward, and he's holding my belt, and then he's kind of pushed my belt back. So I've put my arms on the ropes. I thought he was gonna put my gum shield in my mouth, or you call your corner over to rinse your. I've been in boxing for a long time, and then straight after that situation, where he's pushed me back in the corner, he just called off the fight. But my gum shield's not in my mouth, so if you haven't put the gum shield in my mouth and asked me if I'm ready to fight, how can you call off a fight when the person isn't fully? It's like telling someone he can't fight, but he's only got one glove on. You haven't given him the chance to fight, to call a fight off. And that was the whole point of it, is like, for me, is even though it's an uphill struggle, I'm gonna always get up and be in his face. Even though I'm struggling, I just wanted to get up and just kind of stay in as long as I could. I'd rather have gone out on my back than the referee calling it off, but he has a job to do and we respect that. And that's just how I felt about the stoppages. You should have put the gum shield in my mouth.
It's weird because it looked, you looked relatively fine. Obviously you weren't feeling relatively fine. But you look, I mean, I remember like, when he called it off, everyone was just like, huh? Which means obviously you looked fine.
Relatively fine.
Relatively fine, although it's not how you felt. You
But
were super,
for me, you know what it is?
gracious.
Yeah, you gotta be humble in defeat. But it is what it is. It's like, how I look at it is, I take in L's, I know how to fight, and I know how I beat most of these top heavyweights. So until the day I stop is the day they shouldn't fear me. But until then, just know I'm knocking on everyone's door and I'm coming. I've done it once, I can do it again. I've won, I've unified the division twice, become heavyweight champion. I've been put on my back, I've lost. I'm an experienced fighter, so we'll see what more I have to give.
You see, like, did you ever have a fear of losing?
Never a fear of losing, never a fear of losing.
You've got the Ruiz Jr. rematch, and it's almost as if you can just put it all on the line now.
Every time I fight, it's going to be on the line now. It's deeper than Ruiz Jr. This is about my decisions as a man, my decisions as a fighter, my decisions as the only man in the ring, my decisions as who I want around me in my training team, my decisions of the partners I work with outside of boxing. This is putting it all on the line in terms of me as a person, because coming through the division from the amateurs to now, like, I've been kept tucked away. Finch ABC, Sheffield, I've just been like, boom, tucked away. And now I need to expand my horizons and now put in everything I've learned, I need to take with me and say, well, now this is what I want to do. I want to unleash the beast. And I feel like it took a time like this, not like this, because if I would have won, we would have been sitting here not having this conversation.
Well, sometimes out of these things, or more time out of these things, you end up finding the answer for what you're looking for.
I don't condone it. I'd always say, like, don't go out there and think, oh, losing is good. Yeah. No way. But if it ever does happen, always take the positive from the negative. What can you take away from that situation? I think that's the most important aspect.
And that has been Road to Undisputed. Subscribe, like, comment. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having me.
Right, you had me.